Welcome again from Shelf Life Online. I'm presenting for you this week three very interesting nonfiction books, very diverse, but books that hopefully will interest you. The very first book is Wild Minds. This is The Artists and Rivalries That Inspired the Golden Age of Animation by REID MITENBULER. This is published by Atlantic Monthly Press and retails for $41.99. Cartooning and animation has evolved over the years from its very early days to the more sophisticated cartooning and animation that we see today, thanks to studios like Disney and Pixar. This book traces the absolute history from way back, and actually it was Winsor McCay who declared himself in 1911 as the first man to make illustrated cartoons. Now, this was basically true because his work appeared in various publications, and what set him apart from other cartoonists was the fact that his cartoons told a story. They weren't just funny little pictures, that they told a complex tale, and he evolved to inspire many other cartoonists who might have never gotten into the trade if not for Winsor McCay. Now, as time progressed, cartooning evolved as well, and by 1925, the most popular cartoon was Felix the Cat. I'm sure you've all seen Felix the Cat, and in that time frame of 1925 onward, everybody wanted to own merchandise with Felix the Cat on, and it's funny how a cat captured everybody's heart and imagination. Now, Disney Studios was just basically starting up around the 20s, and they were trying their hand at what they thought at the time was sophisticated animation. They created the skeleton dance, which for its time was something just totally startling people. In fact, people thought that there was witchcraft involved with the way these characters and bones were moving along on the silver screen. And it paved the way for other cartoonists to come and to join the ranks. And in the 1930s, Max Fleischer Studios created two very prominent cartoons that even today are most popular. They are Betty Boop and Popeye. And people flocked to the theaters to see Betty Boop and Popeye. And actually, Betty Boop was quite controversial. She had her risque clothing, and in the 1930s and 40s, cartoons people thought should not wear clothes like that, but they had to tone Betty Boop down, and Betty Boop today still is quite an icon for old age cartoons and animation. Now, this book just follows the cartooning world up to the 1960s, but that is enough, because it was between the early 1900s and 1960s that if not for these risk takers in the world of animation, we would not be at the stage we are today in the world of animation. So if you want a book that's heavy on fact and gives you the story of the great animators who started it all, Wild Minds is one very excellent book. The second book that I would like to draw your attention to is I Am These Truths by Sunny Hostin. Anyone who has ever seen the television show The View, co-hosted by Whoopi Goldberg, knows that Sunny Hostin is one of the co-hosts. If I ever needed a lawyer, I would certainly want her on my side. She was a federal prosecutor who prosecuted a lot of high-profile cases. And she is always out looking for truth and justice, especially for the little guy. And actually, she's had an interesting life. She grew up in the South Bronx in poverty to a Puerto Rican mother and an African American father. And she was bullied for much of her life. Schoolgirls chased her down. They cut her hair. And she was tormented because she was biracial, and a lot of people didn't like that fact, but she persisted in life. And actually, what really got her into the legal profession was the fact at 7 years old she saw her uncle stabbed Now he survived the stabbing, but she vowed that she wanted to get in, to law and order to see that when people were harmed, that justice was served. Now, Sunny Hostin has been a legal correspondent for Fox News, CNN, Good Morning America, and many other programs. She has prosecuted many high-profile cases. In fact, she was the one to bring national attention to the shooting death of a young black man, Trayvon Martin, back in 2017. She People didn't want to cover it because they thought it was a non-story. Well, she brought it to national attention and showed that this was a case that needed to be seen and justice needed to be served. If you've seen her on The View, you know that she is down to earth, and she does an amazing job in the story of telling about her life, poverty, the fact that she had so many miscarriages, and she finally gave birth to 2 children. But this is honest and open, and I Am These Truths is a very, very truthful read. By the way, it is published by Harper One, and it retails for $34.99. Now, the final book this week that I would like to draw to your attention is Norman 2 by Stephen Lancaster. This is published by Llewellyn Worldwide and retails for $23.99. Now, this book is interesting in that it is about Norman the doll. There was a previous book about Norman the doll that had to be locked away. This was like a demonic doll, the type that you would see in horror movies like Chucky. And the doll was purchased by Stephen Lancaster and his wife, and they took it home. And according to the history of the doll, that they think it belonged to a girl back in the 1960s, a little girl. And on Christmas Eve, her house burnt down, and the doll was one of the few things that was salvaged from the burnt-out rubble. Now, according to Stephen Lancaster, the doll is demonic. One Christmas Eve a few years ago, when Stephen and his wife looked under the door to a room that the doll was in, they saw a bright flash. There was a fire in the room, and they naturally assumed that because it was Christmas Eve, Norman had decided to try to burn their house down. Not long after that, their farmhouse burned down. Now, people have come and they have seen the doll, and they have conversed with it. It says words. It has an evil, malicious glare to it. Personally, I think if I bought a devil doll and it came and it tried to kill me and burn my house down, I would either bury it in some faraway plot somewhere, or throw it in a dumpster, or burn it somewhere. But anyways, I'm not actually, I believe in the supernatural. Okay, there are some things you can believe in, and some things that you think are a little bit out there. I can't question it. I wasn't there when Norman did all these wild and weird things, and actually one of the people who went to study it, he was on a plane miles and miles away from where Norman was, and weird things happened on the plane. Now, I don't know whether Norman's spirit or the spirit in Norman could suddenly reach out that far, but anyways, it happened. So all I say is take this book with a grain of salt. If you are a believer in devil dolls, you will find this book to be most interesting. Personally, it was okay. You have to stretch credibility to the farthest depths. And anyways, Storm and Norman, if you want to read about a doll, go for it. Anyways, those are the 3 books this week, quite diverse. And anyways, as always, I welcome your comments, positive, negative, about dolls, anything you want to tell me. So anyways, thanks again for watching Shelf Life Online. As always, take care, be well, and stay safe. Bye for now.